Hello guys, welcome to my channel. The less is more. So today we will discuss an editorial on one nation one election, and this author has written about its pros and cons and how it is against the federalism. Okay, so let's see the what authors has to say. Okay, let's start the editorial directly. Title of the editorial is "The idea of one nation one election is against federalism." In September 2023, the Union government set up a high-level committee on One Nation, One Election under the chairmanship of former President of India Ramnath Kovind. The high-level committee has met on 3 occasions and sought the view of the various national and state political parties on the subject of a common election schedule. Recently, public views and those of eminent jurists were also solicited in this regard. Though there is no definitive timeline for the committee to submit its recommendation, the fact that the timing of this exercise coincides with the lead up to the general election in 2024 raises pertinent doubts. Nevertheless, as the outcome of this exercise has the potential to alter the fundamentals of our democratic setup and reset the federal structure, it is necessary to examine the legal issues at the earliest juncture. There are compelling reasons to believe that the high level committee is likely to return a recommendation in favor of a common schedule comprising elections to the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. Overlooking genuine constitutional and legal concerns, this is why all the attention in the aftermath of this exercise would entirely focus on the Supreme Court of India. This would be India's Baker versus Kerr moment, where the Supreme Court of the US deliberated the concept of entering the political thicket. The Indian Supreme Court, which has self characterized its constitutional role as the sentinel on the qui vive, would be called upon to determine quickly and purposefully the ultimate fate of Indian democracy. Are common elections feasible? One of the reasons assigned in support of one nation, one election is the high amount of expenditure towards the conduct of elections. It is reported that the 2014 general election cost the public exchequer an estimated 3,870 crore. It is argued that common election for the Union Parliament and state assemblies would reduce expenditure significantly. Another reason put forth by the proponents of common election is that model code of conduct comes into effect twice in a 5-year cycle, which affects the seamless conduct of government business and result in governance downtime. Opponents of the common election contend that these reasons are logically and factually untenable. The cost of holding free and fair elections to elect a government of the choice of the people is a price that can never be high. There are occasions where a government may not complete a full term of 5 years and elections may be held again. Such occurrences are expression of the democratic system and ought to be accepted. Likewise, the model code of conduct and other guidelines issued by the election commissions are necessary pains to ensure that executive influence over voters is kept to a minimum and the playing field during the election period remains level. In any case, it sounds strange for Union government and the election commission that have refrained from holding assembly election in Jammu and Kashmir for nearly 5 years to express strong concerns regarding governance downtime. Legal concerns. In Esar Bhumai versus Union of India 1994, the Supreme Court declared that the states have an independent constitutional existence and they have as important a role to play in the political, social, educational and cultural life of the people as the union. The constitution provides for a specific tenure for the state legislature, which is 5 years from the date appointed for the first meeting. A similar provision also exists for the tenure of Union Parliament. Therefore, the introduction of a common election process would necessarily require alteration of the existing duration of a number of state legislatures. This would go against the express language in the constitution and be in violation of the view expressed by the Supreme Court in the Esar Bhumai case. Therefore, any such action that impedes upon the independent constitutional existence of a state by altering the duration of its legislative assembly would naturally be anti-federal and unconstitutional. The next test would be that of bias, exclusion and inequality adopted in this exercise. A cursory glance of the website created by the high-level committee, intended to be a repository of all relevant information on the subject and act as a platform for interaction from all stakeholders, shows that it is available only in English and Hindi. This is to say that such a landmark consultation process is being conducted in one of the 22 official languages of the Union. Finally, there is a question that goes to the root of the independence of the Election Commission, a constitutional body endowed with autonomy to take independent decisions regarding elections. Similar to demonetization, when the Reserve Bank of India was kept in the dark, the Election Commission seems to be a silent spectator to the entire process undertaken by the high level committee set up by Union government. Can one nation, one election be stopped? In the UK, home of the common law jurisprudence, Parliament is supreme. However, the Indian constitutional architecture is structured differently, granting higher courts inherent and broad powers of the judicial review. When executive action transgresses the fields assigned to them, the stage is set for a constitutional showdown in the not too distant future, one that will raise the question of whether constitutional courts, especially Supreme Court, will enter the political thicket. At the moment, there seems to be no alternative but to enter and wade through this thicket if the constitutional architecture of this country is to be preserved. Okay, so this was for today. Let me find out the 5 new words that I would like to use. High level committee, on one nation, one election. Views were solicited. Coincides. Fourth is earliest juncture. Fifth is sentinel on the QUIVIVE. I would have to find out the meaning of this sentinel on the QUV. Okay, I also recommend you to search in the Google, and also recommend you to comment in the 5 comment section 5 new words that you find appropriate for yourself to use in your daily conversation as well as writings. Okay, so till then, bye bye, signing off.